Welcome to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle, LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off is a public interest forum that encourages your voice to be heard on the topics and issues impacting our local communities. We invite you to be part of the conversation by calling or texting 219-362-0522. You may also email your questions to soundoff at 967theeagle.com. This is a topic-based program, and we ask that you keep your comments brief, concise, and related to the topic being discussed. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the hosts or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media, LLC, or the sponsors. The on-air line is now open for your calls or texts at 219-362-0522. And now, Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Sound Off on this Friday. Stan Maddox here. We have a guest on Sound Off today. Our guest is LaPorte County Sheriff Ron Heeg. No shortage of things to talk about with Sheriff Heeg today. If you have a question or a comment, give us a call or a text message. 362-0522. So that number one more time, 362-0522. Sheriff Heeg, welcome to Sound Off as always.
Well, good afternoon, Stan, and thank you for having me here on this beautiful spring afternoon. Boy, if you haven't been outside, get outside and enjoy it. It's the sun's shining and temperatures warming up a little bit out there. I was reading an article, Stan, the other day, and you like this because you're into the news and stuff like that. I was reading an article that this May has been the coldest May since 2002. And not only that, did you know that this year's Indianapolis 500 was the fourth coldest in the history of the Indianapolis 500?
Is that right?
That's right. 64 degrees, I believe they said it was at race time on Sunday, and it was the fourth coldest Indianapolis 500. So it's been a cool spring. So
wow,
to get out there and get that sun, it's nice.
So those the official numbers as far as the coolest May in history. That's official then.
Well, the May is the coolest May since 2002.
Okay, since 2002.
So
okay.
yeah, in 22 years, it's been a cool May.
Yeah, it has been. I'll tell you. Oh well, today's the kind of day we've been long waiting for, and hopefully the wait is worth it.
Right, absolutely.
All right, boy. No shortage of things to talk about. Where do we start? Of course, you went to county council meeting Wednesday night, asking for permission to use some of your drug forfeiture monies. Those monies come, of course, from drug busts. If you guys recover cash or seize cash, that's a federal law, right? A federal guideline that you guys are entitled to those funds.
Well, yeah, because we're a federally designated HIDA county, and HIDA stands for High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area, and we got that designation back in 2017 when Sheriff Boyd was the sheriff. And there's only 7 counties in the state of Indiana that have this federal designation, and we belong to the Indiana HIDA. And by doing that, when our drug task force or when our officers make any drug arrests and there's cash associated with that, we can seize that money through the federal seizure process. And by doing it that way, we collect 80% return of that money back. Wow. Comes back to the sheriff's office, and the rest of it stays with the federal government. But that allows us to upgrade a lot of technology and equipment at the sheriff's office that we don't have to go back and ask the county council for additional money, taxpayer money. We can, as I say, use drug money to do good, Stan.
That's pretty good. Over $400,000 is in the account, right?
Over $400,000 is in the account, and I ask for permission to spend because I have to by state standards and state law to spend that money. And as you heard on the council meeting the other night, we're looking to buy a new body scanner for the jail. We're looking to get new computers for the jail. We're looking to upgrade some of the gas masks that our sheriff's department has that are over 20 years old, and get new ones for new officers because they have to be fitted for the officer, and just a whole host of stuff. New ice suits and dry suits for the scuba team because some of them are beginning to leak. So just a whole host of stuff that we've kind of had on the back burner that we finally says, okay, we've got some of this drug seizure coming in, and we've got some in the account. Let's start getting some of this stuff replaced, repaired. And again, let's use this money versus going back to the taxpayers and asking for additional money to upgrade and renew some of this stuff, Stan.
I guess that's a way for the drug offenders to pay back society, right?
Pay back society.
Through that cash they obtain through illegal activities.
And again, it's good investments that we're putting back into the county. You know, some of these investments are going to last us. You know, if we can get another 25 years out of these new suits for the scuba team, then that's a wise investment. You know, we talk about the body scanner. We got the body scanner, the current one we got back in about 2017, 2018 as well, and that has been a huge lifesaver. That has been a huge liability savings to the county and just to the citizens as well, you know, because we take a virtual full-body x-ray of the individuals, and we can tell if they're trying to sneak drugs in or any other items that they want to try to sneak into the jail. And we've been successful with catching items that they've been trying to smuggle in. So just on a liability, not only on a liability aspect, but on a life-saving aspect, the body scanner is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. Drugs sometimes, they try to hide them in their body cavities, right?
You would be surprised.
And the scanner turns that up, right?
Turns it up. If they swallowed it or if they've got it hit in individual body cavities or anything like that, it'll show up on the scan stand.
Wow. How many offenders actually try to do that? What percentage?
You know, that's hard to say. I mean, we scan every new inmate or any new individual that comes in, or if an inmate leaves the facility and comes back in for either like a doctor's appointment or something like that. Everybody gets scanned when they come back through. So we roughly do an average of about 7,500 scans per year. So it's hard to determine exactly the exact percentage of what it would be as the number of people that do try to bring stuff in.
That's about 20 a day.
Yep, it's about 20 a day. You're absolutely right, Stan. So it's used. We utilize it all the time. And as you know, just as with any technology and any electronic items, the current one is at its lifespan. Just like any computer or anything like that, it reaches its what we call end of lifetime, and the current manufacturer will no longer support our current body scanner because technology changes. Just like your computers, the corporations will say, well, we no longer support that one, but you got to buy the new one, just because technology changes. So, and everybody wants to keep up with the latest technology to keep everybody safe.
Yeah, you talked about the cash seized from a drug bust. Can you guys liquidate some cars or homes that were purchased with drug money, or is that the federal government's
we
grab?
can't. We can seize cars as long as it's owned outright by the individual. It can't have a loan on it or a lien on it or anything like that. And then we can seize a vehicle, and the federal government will allow us to keep it for a total of 3 years, at which point we have to auction it off, and then that money will get put into the asset forfeiture fund that we use when we seize money, Stan.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. How about a house?
I suppose if we're not in the business to be in real estate or to make money or anything like that, but a lot of homes have mortgages on them, or these individuals rent from an individual, so we can't seize it if it's not theirs, so to speak. But in the grand scheme of things, if we wanted to seize a house that was owned outright by an individual, we could do that.
Okay, yeah. So you got over $400,000 since 2017. That sounds like a pretty good amount.
Yeah, absolutely. It's drug dealers, they carry a lot of cash on them. So,
okay, boy. Any update on that apparent double murder suicide that occurred the other day near the Summit Farm? Do we have any indications yet? What led up to that? Of course, the man was in his 70s, his wife was in his 70s, and then her mother was 102.
Yeah, no, we don't have any updated information on that. This is an unfortunate private family matter that occurred with this, because they were all related. husband and wife, and then the wife's mother that was involved in this. And it's a sad, unfortunate situation. Our detectives are working on this to try to get to the bottom of maybe why this individual did this and what transpired and how the timeline went out. But as of now, it's very early in the investigation. This just happened just this past weekend, and any investigation of this size and magnitude just takes time. And we just want to make sure we got our I's dotted and our T's crossed with that. So we don't have any other updates, so to speak, as of yet, Stan.
Okay. Of course, I had a chance to dig into a story. There was a guy from South Bend several days ago, allegedly intoxicated when he was pulled over in his vehicle, and he was from Guatemala. And there were some indications that he was in the country illegally, so I started thinking to myself, I wonder how many people you've arrested so far this year who turned out to be illegal and were turned over to ICE. And then your people helped me out to tell me that 35, I believe is the number, 35 or 34 people so far this year had ICE detainers placed on them for you guys to hold until ICE can come and pick them up. I guess ICE has picked up like 25 of those 34 this year.
Yeah, absolutely. As we were talking just prior to the show, that the numbers are significantly up this year from the number of detainers that we have received from ICE compared to years prior. The biggest reason for that is we've got a brand new president this year, and I'm not going to bring politics into this, but this president has obviously taken a more aggressive of approach on immigration and ICE versus maybe previous presidencies. So ICE has been a little more proactive, a little bit more involved, and we're going to work with our partners. And if they ask a hold to be placed on an individual, we're going to place that hold on an individual. It's no different if one of our neighboring counties had an individual that was wanted. They show us that they have a warrant for somebody. We're going to hold them for these surrounding counties and other jurisdictions as well, too, Stan.
Yeah, that's it. Police cooperation.
Yep.
That's interesting because you guys aren't going after the illegals. You're just happen to arrest them for various crimes, and then you find out whether they're here legally or illegally, but then ICE makes that final determination.
Yeah, our officers aren't out there targeting anybody, and this guy looks illegal or anything like that. The reason we're coming across them is they've obviously committed an infraction, or they broke the law, and our deputies are dealing with them, and they're making an arrest, and they're realizing that they may not be an illegal citizen. And there's a process that we have when we get into the booking process that we notify ICE, and then they will respond whether they want to hold place on this individual or not. And then when they will put this hold on, and then we'll hold them for them to come in and take possession of these individuals.
Are you guys seeing more people being arrested who perhaps entered the country illegally?
No, it's not like we've seen a large influx of illegal immigrants that have come through LaPorte County. I think the reason that we've seen more holds being placed on than we have in years prior is just the more aggressive stance that ICE has taken since the first of the year, Stan.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick commercial break. Stay with us. LaPorte County Sheriff Ron Heeg is our guest on Sound Off.
Strawberry season has begun at Garwood's. Homegrown strawberries are now available in the Garwood Farm Market, and U-Pick will begin soon. Check the Garwood Facebook page or website for updates. Stop by Garwood's today to browse a nice selection of planters and hanging baskets, or pick up a bag of Garwood homegrown asparagus and homegrown rhubarb. Also available in market, Parkman Angus beef, Fisher smoked meats, specialty milks from Amish country, jams, honey, and much more. Strawberry and strawberry rhubarb pies are in the Garwood Bakery in both 6-inch and 10-inch pies. Garwood's invites you to sign up for a special adult behind-the-scenes tour of the 6th generation Garwood Farm, which will be held on Wednesday, June 18th from 4 till 8. And it includes a free meal. Sign up online today or call Garwood's. Check GarwoodOrchard.com, the Garwood Facebook page, or call to find out what's available at Garwood's on 50 South past Pinola. GarwoodOrchard.com.
employee pricing for all at Autopark.com. The best pricing because it's real. You can lock in the price right now. 2024 Ford Escape from just $24,995. 2025 Jeep Compass from just $23,995. Over 700 new and pre-owned vehicles. One price, one person, 1 hour. That's the Autopark way at Autopark. Autopark.com. Escape number RUB02194. Compass number ST551683. To qualified buyers. Price plus tax, title, and $245 doc. In-stock inventory only. See dealer for details. Oil changes are just $24.95. Schedule now at Autopark.com. $24.95 gets you an oil change, filter, tire rotation, brake inspection, top-off fluids, battery test, plus check-up on filters, belts, and hoses. All included until May 31st. Schedule now at Autopark.com. We pick up and deliver with a driver you trust. Schedule your next service now at Autopark.com. Autopark.com. Excludes diesel and specialty vehicles.
I'm Valerie, and I'm here with Dottie, one of our residents from Oakwoods Manor. Can you tell me why you chose to join us?
I chose independent living at Oakwoods Manor because it offers me the ability to enjoy as much activity as I prefer or relax and enjoy not having to maintain a home or cook meals. I've formed many new friendships, and I feel comfortable in my apartment that I now call my home.
For more information, call Oakwoods Manor at 362-6600. Ask about our veteran discounts and savings.
Looking for a hard-to-find item you can't find in the stores? Maybe you'd like to sell a few items you no longer use or need. Maybe you're looking for help around the house or yard. Tradio is the answer. Every weekday following your 9 a.m. news for Tradio on 96.7 The Eagle. It's your time to call 362-0522 to buy, sell, and trade just about anything, even those hard-to-find items. Join us for Tradio, weekdays from 9:06 a.m. until 10 on 96.7 The Eagle.
Michiana weather.
Slight chance for isolated thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 76. From the Weather Center at HometownNewsNow.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 72 degrees.
Your opinion matters. We invite you to share it by calling the on-air line at 362-0522. That's 362-0522. Now, back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
And welcome back to Sound Off. Our guest again, the Porte County Sheriff Ron Heeg, 362-0522. We have a text message here, Ron. If someone has a pacemaker, how does that work? You know what they're talking about, but I thought they were asking you as a medical person, but you're the sheriff. So what are they talking about here if someone has a pacemaker?
Right. No, they're not asking me medical advice because I'm not obviously going to give medical advice, although we were joking offline with Meatball that I may have stayed at a Holiday Inn Express, but I am not a medical professional, and they're talking about if somebody has a pacemaker and they get arrested and they have to come in and get scanned through the body scanner, are we going to allow that? And, you know, as if a female comes in and she advises that she's pregnant. No, we've got process in place that we won't scan these individuals, and that processes and policy in place that we won't scan, and how we would deal with stuff like that, Stan.
Okay,
Yep.
because there's probably a little bit of radiation,
A little
right?
bit of radiation, yep, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you certainly knew what that guy was talking about.
Because you didn't.
I'm like, Sheriff,
You were-
he's not a cardiologist. How does he know whether a
Stan,
pacemaker
you're ready to
works?
check out for the weekend, aren't you?
I'm
I
ready.
can tell.
It's it's going right over my head sometimes. Boy, been a busy last couple of weeks. We already addressed the apparent double murder-suicide, but boy, we've talked about it before, Ron. Police chases. There just seems to me like there's been a big increase in police chases over the past several years. And then this past week alone, just off the top of my head, I can think of 3 or 4. Last evening, you guys had one on the toll road. And then around late morning yesterday, around noon or so, they had a chase on I-94. Crown Point was involved, and they chased him to 421. He turned south, and then there was a crash. And then about a week ago, the Port City chased a guy to near Rolling Prairie, and he crashed into a tree. He was driving on the opposite side of State Road 2 at 120 miles per hour. And then the guy from Mill Creek the other day allegedly ran a stop sign and led police on a chase right to his residence.
Right to his residence.
What's going on here?
You know, we've obviously seen an uptick in police pursuits over probably the last 4 or 5 years. Really can't put a thumb on it. It's just it seems like there's a lot of people that don't have respect for others, but more importantly, they just don't think they have a whole lot of respect for themselves. You know, this individual that was driving the wrong way or on the wrong lanes of State Road 2, boy, are we lucky that nobody, innocent person, was hurt or killed by his reckless actions, you know, and that's exactly what that was selfishness, reckless, and he's obviously got no respect for anybody else, probably doesn't have a whole lot of respect for himself to put himself in that type of situation where he's going to go down the wrong way down State Road 2, and that's a divided highway. It's not like he had just crossed the center line. He's really on the other side going the wrong way, and it just shows you that his level of intoxication was that high that he could not comprehend actually where he was at or what he was doing when he was doing that, and then to be traveling at those speeds. We're lucky nobody got seriously hurt or, more importantly, killed by his actions, Stan.
Yeah, eastbound in the westbound lanes. I can't think of anything scarier than that.
Scarier, you know, in State Road 2 going out of La Porte's got that nice blind curve there by Lofgren Road, and up there by 300 East and 350 East, it kind of gets a little hilly and curvy. So we're lucky that nobody was coming around those curves or over a hill as he was, because at that speed, that's quick closing gap there.
Yeah, well, this guy from Mill Creek, I mean, over 90 miles per hour on county roads.
Some of the county roads, that's almost as worse than the previous guy we was just talking about. So, yeah.
So how do you combat this, or is there a way to combat this?
Well, I think these individuals obviously need to be held responsible through the court of law, and I think if the courts hold these individuals accountable and give them maybe a stiff sentence, maybe others will see that, realize that, and think, I better not run, or I better just stop and take my licks as they come, versus create more problems for yourself. And you know, if the courts hold these individuals to stricter sentencing, maybe longer jail time, maybe to cause others to think that maybe I shouldn't do this, Stan.
Yeah, the one on the toll road around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, do we know what started that?
Don't know what started that as of yet. I know the deputies were working grant-funded overtime up there through HIDA. You know, part of it is grant-funded traffic enforcement on the toll road and the interstate. So it's what they were doing when this kicked off. Don't know the exact reason as to why that got started yet. But, yeah, unfortunately, it's another prime example of this individual was driving in excess of 100 miles an hour and clipped another vehicle, caused a crash because of it. So.
Wow. And then he took off on foot, but you captured him.
But we caught him. Yep. He's a current resident of the LaPorte County Jail as we speak, Stan.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess if you're homeless, the jail would be a good place to be, I suppose, but this guy probably wasn't. Yeah.
I don't know if he was or not, but I don't know if I would want to be a resident of the jail.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, it's like these people feel like they're going to outrun you, and there's just no way. Not too many people get away from the police in a high-speed chase.
Not
right?
too many people get away. I'm sure it happens every now and then, but we got a pretty good track record at the sheriff's office. So we're going to get you more times than not. So you might just pull over, take your licks, and live for another day.
Okay. Any special programs coming up? Of course, summer is unofficially here, but it's that time of year. High schools are graduating and things of that nature. Kids are home from school or will be soon. Anything going on at the sheriff's office to promote safety, maybe?
Yeah, you hit it. We're in the unofficial start of summer with Memorial Day this past weekend, and New Prairie is already out of school. I think Michigan City's last day is today, and the Port's, I think, Monday or Tuesday of next week. So the kids are going to be out of school. We're going to start getting into the summertime activities that we're already planning for. You got the big LaPorte parade, and then right after the 4th of July, on July 5th, the county fair starts. So we've been planning and preparing for that to provide a safe fair, and then that's that week. And then we have been planning and preparing for the Michigan City boat races that are first weekend of August. So lots going on. We're preparing for a busy summer because, as we were talking to Stan, this spring has been a busy spring for us at the Sheriff's Office. Our calls for service are up about 5 or 6% from where they were at this time last year. So call volume's been up a little bit. We've been, obviously, some of the things that you've touched and highlighted it on is some of the busyness that we've experienced so far this spring, and we expect it to continue going into the summer, especially once the weather really starts heating up, Stan.
Yeah, you guys might be tired once you get to the finish line of summer. Who knows? But you got to keep going.
You
right?
got to keep going, and I myself, I always enjoyed working the busyness of summer at the Sheriff's Office because it keeps you busy, and I always like to keep busy. And you get a slow day or two, and you have a tendency to start getting a little bored. So,
well, I'll tell you what, we got a phone call right now to take. Let's take that call. You're on Sound Off with Sheriff Heeg.
Yeah, hi. I was wondering if maybe Sheriff could shed some light on that Tucholsky fire that happened a few weeks ago. I had heard somebody went and saved some of the livestock as best they could, but there's a lot of people I know around this Mill Creek area that said it was awful fishy. It's the second time this has happened, and he ended up trying to get his truck out of the barn, but he left the animals in the other barn to burn. And I was just wondering if that is really true, what happened, that they kind of forsaken the animals to save his truck.
Yeah, I can't speak on a whole lot in regards to it, but I do know that our deputies, when they arrived, they were assisting the owners or the farmers on removing some of the animals. They were able to get some of the animals out. As far as a cause of the fire, I don't think that has been determined yet. I think they're still investigating and looking into that as to what caused that fire. But as far as it being fishy or anything like that, I can't, and even if I knew, I will not disclose that because it's an ongoing investigation. But no, our deputies arrived and assisted the owners with removing as much of the animals as they could, prior to keeping themselves safe as well too.
Yeah. We have I have a farm myself, and then our barn has at least 3 exits. I just cannot understand how he would have had those animals trapped in there and not gotten to them if he was trying to save his truck in the initial barn. But anyway, that's too bad. Sad thing. I think people should learn from that.
Yep.
Well, thank you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for the call. Yeah, you had one of your officers. He actually pick up a couple of these lambs out of their pen and carried them over a fence.
We had 2 officers that arrived and was carrying sheep and lambs out and everything else, dragging them out and carrying them off to safety. You're absolutely right, Stan.
And risking their necks, right? Because I'd imagine the flames were getting pretty hot.
Yep, and they were able to save as many as they could.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's take another commercial break. Stay with us on Sound Off.
Here we grow again. Your new neighbors are here, Michigan City. The Bob Lacurcio Auto Group now owns Michigan City Ford, Michigan City Kia, and Michigan City Hyundai. New ownership means better selection, better deals, and better service. Plus, all 3 locations now offer mobile service, so we'll come to you. Call us for an appointment today and get an oil change for as low as $29.95. We're proud to serve the Michigan City community we now call home. Visit us online at blautogroup.com.
You're going to like buying a car this way.
They say home is where the heart is, but let's be honest, it's also where the fastest Wi-Fi is. That's why we love Surf Internet's 2 gig fiber fast service. Streaming multiple devices or just working from home, it just works for us. No stress, no glitches, no drama. Just fast local service that made cutting the cord an easy switch for our family. Want to love your internet again? Contact Surf Internet today. From Zoom calls to movie nights, Surf's got you covered. Visit surfinternet.com to get started.
Are you looking for top quality lawn care in the LaPorte or Michigan City area? Look no further. No Problem Property Management is offering an incredible deal just for you. For the first 20 customers, they're providing a fantastic 20% discount on their lawn care services when you sign up for weekly or bi-weekly maintenance. Their team takes pride in providing the best lawn care services in the area. They ensure your lawn looks stunning and well, maintained throughout the year. They deeply appreciate the hard work and dedication of our firefighters, EMS, first responders, and military personnel. As a token of their gratitude, they will always receive 20% off on all services. Hurry! This is a limited time offer, so take advantage of the deal while it lasts. Call or text 219-402-0509 to book your lawn care service now. At No Problem Property Management, they take care of your lawn as if it were their own. Don't settle for anything less than perfection. Call or text today at 219-402-0509 and enjoy a beautiful, well-maintained lawn without breaking the bank.
Dierks Bentley is coming to Credit Union 1 Amphitheater at Tinley Park in Chicago June 14th, and people are going to be digging deep to try and find tickets. Funny we mentioned digging. 96.7 The Eagle has last chance tickets to see Dierks Bentley, and all you have to do is go digging through our website. All this week, we'll hide a Digging for Dierks registration button somewhere at 967theeagle.com or on our social media pages. Then, after 7 a.m., Dennis Siddell will announce on the Morning Mayhem where the registration button is to help you out. We'll even remind you in the afternoon after 3 with Irish Mike. Then click the button, fill out the form, and you could be headed to see Dierks Bentley at Tinley Park on June 14th. Listen daily to the Morning Mayhem after 7 and to Irish Mike after 3 to tell you where on the website to start digging for Dierks tickets. Only at 967theeagle.com.
What are you waiting for? The lines are open on Sound Off. Text or dial your questions now to 362-0522. That's 362-0522. Now, back to LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
And welcome back once again to Sound Off. Our guest today, LaPorte County Sheriff Ron Heeg. Let's go to the telephone calls. You're on Sound Off with Sheriff Heeg. Go right ahead.
Well, hi, Stan. Hello, Sheriff. This is your elderly neighbor calling in.
Yeah, how are things in Galena Township this afternoon?
Oh, it's a beautiful spring day in Galena.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. You were discussing pacemakers. I happen to have personal knowledge of pacemakers, and I can tell you it's not so much the radiation as it is the electromagnetic fields that pose the greatest danger, particularly if you don't have the right kind of leads going into your heart. It can cause real damage to the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a concern. But, yeah, I thought I'd comment on that.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you calling.
But also, on transporting offenders to doctors and hospitals, you never know where that's going to go. I can remember taking a guy to the hospital at 10 o'clock at night and not getting out till 3 in the morning. So I could see where overtime would be an issue.
Yeah, it definitely is an issue with us, and it's just one of those things that we can't pick and choose when we have to take a person to the hospital or not. If they need to go, we're going to take them. Whether we have to incur overtime or not, and like you said, it's up to the emergency room or the doctor's office can be busy, which requires our staff to be there. And as I said at the council meeting the other day, we've got to be able to find a doctor or a facility that will take an inmate and to see them as a patient. Some facilities and some doctors won't see an inmate as a patient, so that requires us to maybe have to drive a little bit further, which adds time, which adds overtime. So, the Supreme Court hasn't made it perfectly clear that the health of the inmates is the sheriff's responsibility, and we're going to make sure that they stay safe and healthy.
All right.
I can remember one time I had to take an offender to a doctor, but I couldn't use the front door. I had to drive down a dark alley at night, go up to the door, and knock to even get admission to the doctor's office.
Right.
Because he didn't want his other patients seeing this guy wearing handcuffs and shackles, So, yeah, I could see where it's an issue. And anyhow, Sheriff, you folks are doing a wonderful job. Thank you for your service. And Stan, I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend.
All right. Thanks for the call. Any update on the unfortunate New Prairie school bus accident from about, I guess it was 3 weeks ago now? I had a lady tell me that the box truck actually hit the rear end of the one miniature bus when it was stopped at the traffic light at US 20 and Vale Road. Is that how you understand how the accident occurred? Has that determination been made yet?
Well, I'm not going to make a determination yet, only because that is still an active and ongoing investigation, Stan, and I don't want to sit here on the radio and say one thing and then the investigation shows something else or anything like that. But, that's going to be a timely investigation just because of the size of the crash scene, the amount of people that were involved in it, the criminal aspect of this crash. It's going to be a lengthy investigation, and this is one case that we're definitely going to make sure our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed, and we leave no stone unturned with this investigation to show exactly what transpired, how it transpired, and why it transpired. So this one's probably going to unfortunately take several months to conclude and put all the pieces of the puzzle together and complete this investigation, Stan.
Any indications yet if the driver was impaired?
We do not have those results back. Those results can take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to get back. We're hoping to get them a little bit sooner. We reached out to the state lab because that goes down to Indianapolis, to the state lab down in Indianapolis, and asked that they speed it up. They have moved it ahead to the front of the queue, so to speak. But again, we're just waiting to get those results back as well, too.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like in some cases you get a quick turnaround on the blood test results, and in some other cases it takes 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
Why is that?
I think it depends on how busy they are downstate with that, Stan. Yep.
All right. Somebody's got a text message here, Ron. When ICE put a fender on hold, does the county get reimbursed by ICE for using county space and food to feed the offender?
Well, no, that's because they get here so quick to pick them up. And usually these offenders are here on a local charge, so they're going to be within our facility to begin with, which requires us to house them, to food them, and so on. We notify ICE that when this individual is ready to be released, ready to picked up, and they're here within, they have to be here within, I think it's 48 hours, but they're usually within 24 hours, get these individuals picked up. No different than if we were holding an individual for, let's say, St. Joe County on one of their warrants. St. Joe County does not reimburse us because they hold individuals on our warrants for us and feed them. To make a short answer long, I'm going to say no. That we do not get reimbursed for ICE.
Okay, so ICE comes here pretty quickly.
They're here within usually 24 hours. They have up to 48 hours. So, yep.
Okay, I can't think of a ICE. That just sounds intimidating. Yeah. Don't call ICE on me. Okay, if you have a question, give us a call or a text message. Just a couple of minutes left in the program, 362-0522. Anything else you want to bring up, Ron, that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, that put me on a spot real quick, Stan, but that's all right. No, just again, the kids are getting ready to get out of school if they're not already out of school, so they're going to be out and about. They're going to be on our roadways. They're going to be on their bicycles. They're going to be out in the yards playing. Just keep an extra eye out for the kids that are going to be out and about in our neighborhoods, in our communities as we go through the summer. Get out and enjoy the summer festivities. There's a lot that's coming up here very soon, whether Michigan City, LaPorte, or some of these other communities, whether it be the parades, the fair, Red Wine and Brew, the Michigan City boat races, and everything. Get out and enjoy it, but all we ask is that you get out and be responsible and be respectful of everybody.
Hey, we got a last-minute text message. Yeah, they want to know if you have any input on whether the judge is going to allow the New Prairie bus crasher to bail out on a lower bond.
I'm not going to speak on behalf of the judge. That's a decision the judge is going to have to make. And I don't want to go putting words in anybody's mouth or make any assumptions, because the minute I say something, then something else happens, and everybody be ready to throw stones at me and everything else. So I'm not going to speak on the judge's behalf. That's a question, and that's an answer that the judge is going to have to answer.
Yeah, the hearing for her to decide was originally scheduled for today, but it got rescheduled for next Friday.
Friday, yep, I did see that.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, Sheriff Heeg, as always, thanks for coming in, Sound Off. Look forward to your next visit.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
All right. LaPorte County Sheriff Ron Heeg, our guest on Sound Off today. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us and voicing your opinion on this edition of Sound Off. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the host or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media, LLC, or the sponsors. Sound Off airs live every Monday and Friday, immediately following Update 12 News, and is available online after the show is over under the podcast menu at hometownnewsnow.com. Mark your calendar and join us again for the next edition of Sound Off, right here on 96.7 The Eagle.